Que viva España! What a Madrid game! It was awesome. Another win, 2 wins in a row, Richmond. Can you imagine? Get excited, man. We're good. And what about Madrid? What about the Santiago Bernabéu? It was amazing, man.
Whoa,
I can't wait. I want to be next week. I
no,
want
no,
another
no.
game. I want.
Slow down, slow down.
What,
We
what?
got bye week, bro. No game. We got bye week. I'm glad you're excited. I truly am, but we got a bye week, and then we get back to it. So yeah. Save some of that for the following week. But yeah, you good? But yeah, no nothing this week. We chilling this week. Okay. Hey everyone, it's Richmond Webb. Hey, thanks for joining again, and we're back for another review of the Dolphins game. If you don't mind, like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and we will get into it and talk football. And glad to have you back with us again this week.
Hey, Richmond. What about this kind of game? Can you imagine that it was the first time ever game in Madrid, and it was like the stadium was fit for NFL. It was amazing. How are you, my friend, my dear friend Richmond Webb, number 78?
I'm actually good. Madrid was amazing. I didn't actually get an opportunity to go, but from the pictures I saw posted on social media, I'm always amazed. I'll just say, I'll just call it the East, because I guess we consider it the West. But when you get to see some of the buildings, the architecture is just beautiful. And then for me, I kind of think back and say, for them to be able to do all that years ago versus, we're more modern society, but the detail, the attention to detail, and all that. Man, it was some really gifted people that be able to construct buildings and stuff like that with the architecture and all that. It's just amazing. But beautiful city from the pictures I saw, this and that, and so then to come up and play the Commanders, and I saw Commanders fans, Dolphin fans, looked like for the most part everybody got together, everybody had a good time, which is a great experience, especially international. And I know it was people from America, but you get to interact with people from all across the world, and then you share, football, which, or should I say, American football. But everybody got along. That's not the real football, but American football. But everybody got along, and just even watching in the stands, and it shows the impact and the appreciation that people all across the world have for the game and the love of the game. And it was just amazing. And then to top it off, we go in overtime, and then able to pull out another win, and then 2 in a row. So going into the bye week, you can't ask nothing better than that. I think it's a good time to be a Dolphin fan the way things have gone. So we needed something positive, and we've gotten it the last couple of weeks.
It was so cool because the fact that this game has been won by a field goal kick. It was a very ironical thing in a country where you have Real Madrid, arguably one of the greatest football club in the world, in the history of soccer football. I want to have American friends, so I would say a little bit soccer today. It was funny to see that this win actually was win by your foot, by your feet, So it's cool to people understand that, yeah, we play 5% of the time with your hands, but actually that's why it's called football, because sometimes you eat that with your feet. But it was good.
I don't think it was a better way you could. I mean, it was perfect ending. Like you said, um, American football in a place where football is dominant, and then to have a kick decide who wins or lose a game. That was it in overtime, and I think people got their money's worth. It wasn't just a lopsided game; it was a pretty close game, and then to have it end like that, I thought it was really good, and I thought it was good for the fan experience and all that. So it was. I don't think you could have asked for anything better.
Yeah, for sure. And it's all because of that arena. Because you want to keep the certain number in the game for a long time. That's why they had to be decided in extra time, in overtime.
Yeah,
Because you
yeah.
want to keep this number 13, he was there.
13 was there to the 4 quarters, and we had to break the 13. So yeah, that's it. You might have had a
But
little
man,
something to do with that. Yeah.
yeah. For people understanding, with Richmond, we prepare some crazy stuff if we were able to travel. I will not go into this. You already explained it into social media, into a video. I don't want to talk about that. But the truth is, uh, we were excited because we will have been able to meet and met some of the fans and create something in Europe, show the love that that they have for American football. So I still have a little harsh watching the game because I really want to be there with you. It would have been so amazing to share the game together and do a lot of stuff in social media to promote this. But hey, it's for another time, and I'm pretty sure Roger Goodell will go back there because, as he said, it was the best stadium in the world. And pretty sure that was the best publicity he needs to make that international. Trust me.
And that's true. And I don't know, but I'll put it out there, and you make the decision. But you had a pretty special weekend this past weekend as well. I don't know if you want to share with the fan base, but
Yeah.
you had a couple of people come visit you, and they came to also celebrate someone in your family. So I'll let you decide if you want to go into that more detail. But I thought that was just, when you told me that, I was really it hit a soft spot because
Yeah.
I know how it is. You get to see people that you normally don't see, this and that, and for them to kind of surprise you. I can tell you were surprised you ain't know. So that made it even more sweeter. So I don't know if you want to speak on that, but yeah,
Of
you got the
course I will.
spotlight. Yeah,
We are in family. The thing is, if people don't believe in spiritual thing, they will not understand what happened. But I was mad to not be there with you. I mean, sad, not mad. I was very, very sad. But it was my daughter's birthday on Sunday. So she accepted me to travel with you if that happened and not be there for her birthday. That's something that I always say is there will never be something higher than my daughter, you know what I mean? But we decided as a family that it was a great opportunity to be there and it doesn't happen anytime. So I was really sad. But what happened after is my parents who are living in Spain travel actually to France and make a surprise for my daughter. So there is a case that we were traveling together into Madrid and I will miss my parents and my brother at the same time and being in Spain, it would have been very ironical. So you know what? I'm glad everything happened in the way it happened. It's all good, and it will be for another time. And we will talk about that later during the year and make surprise for the fan. We have big plans with Big Sixty. The number 78, one of the best left tackle in the 90s, but we will talk about it later. But let's talk about the Commanders game. Some people get mad because it was kind of a boring game, but this is American football. Sometimes you have a 20, 30 points, you have
yeah,
a 30, 16, like against the Bills, and sometimes you have a 16, 13. For me, the most important, we get a win. And
that's
after
true.
that, we get present, and you have the Saints next, which is a winnable game for both teams, of course. But
Yeah.
the Dolphins have a chance to be 5-7. But let's talk about the Commanders. What was for you the experience of seeing the Dolphins playing in the Santiago Bernabéu, the new Santiago Bernabéu?
Yeah, like you said, I think you put things into perspective. I think sometimes fans, they don't always think realistic. Like you said, I think everybody wants to see 30, 40 points scored a game, and that's just not going to happen every game. We had a good game against Buffalo the previous week, but the object of the game is to win it. And sometimes it's more of a defensive battle. Sometimes you might not even score a touchdown. Maybe both teams just kick field goals, and whoever has the most points win the game. The object is to win the game. It's not to it's not always about style points or we had 500 yards passing or whatever. The object of the game is to win, and sometimes the defense plays a role, the offense, and even special teams. So it's three phases, but all three of them are very, very important, and they work well together. So I think collectively we played well. I think we got the win, and I love the effort and the intensity that our guys were playing with, rather than saying, we only scored 16 points or whatever. Sometimes that can come off as you're ungrateful or you expect to just go out and just blow everybody out, and that's definitely not that's not a character of success or whatever that you want to carry on, because everything you put out on media or whatever, interviews, and that, a lot of times that just gives the following team billboard material to post up and say, hey, these guys, they think they can just run through everybody, and then it can make your road to trying to achieve something special. You can make it harder on yourself. So if you're good and you do it in the right way, I don't have an issue with it, but you've got to be realistic, and you got to be realistic and say, hey, sometimes defense gonna help us win, offense or special teams. So as long as we kind of put it in that perspective and just be grateful we came out with it, because a lot of people were surprised that we didn't receive the ball in overtime. A lot of people was pissed off about that, but it worked out. So long as it worked out, yes, not the typical thing you do, but the main thing is we got the win. We kicked the field goal. It went through the uprights, and we were able to fly back from Madrid to Miami with the win.
If the same scenario happened on a Super Bowl, who cares?
Yeah,
who cares? I mean, I feel funny, that people get really pissed off when the Dolphins are losing, and they get pissed off when the Dolphins are winning. I mean, sometimes we a balance, guys. I mean, okay, you want to have 60 minutes of pure score. I mean, basketball is there for that. But here, it's a totally different game. It's a physical game. It's very hard. And you know what? You have the time difference. You have to adjust to Europe to play. I mean, it's not easy to win an international game. I mean, people don't talk a lot about it, but I guess it's not easy. It's an intense week. There are some soccer football player met in the Metropolitano. It's the other team of Madrid. They are very not friends. So you are Real Madrid or Atletico Madrid. You can be both, bro. So when you go there, you have to pick. So they trained into the Metropolitano. It's the stadium of the Atletico Madrid. They met some player. Actually, Antoine Griezmann he's a French player. He won the World Cup with France a few years ago. So he was there. He was he's a very NFL fan. He has a podcast. Maybe one day he will join us. We never know. But it's bad if you don't come in a bad podcast which you have a French there. There is not happened so many times that a French guy has a podcast with a former American player, a football player. So I hope he's joined us. But anyway, when you have that on picture, you understand that the game was not easy. And you know what? I saw a reason in that game. I saw the defense still good. The trenches are building into even the offensive line or the defensive line. They are going better. We have to talk later about Patrick Paul. I mean, we have to talk about him at some point. And Achane is still there. It's still doing plays. It's still winning yards. I think it's perfect. And you know what? A win is a win. I mean, you know better than me, by the way, how hard it is to win a game. So when you have a win, you take it and you focus on the next game. Even if it was a lose, you have to have that mentality. So I think it's great. Being 4-7, it's awesome. And now we have a bye. But hey, if we have a look more into details on that game, of course we will talk about that fourth down. We'll talk about that later. But how do you feel about that offensive line, and especially, and you know that I don't want to spotlight one player, but Patrick Paul, even if it's not the blind side of Tua Tagovailoa, but for the next 10 years, he maybe have a righty one day, and he will be the blind side protector. It's awesome what he's doing, and the offensive line too.
Yeah, he stepped up. You always have question marks when you lose a guy like Teron Armstead, consummate All Pro, one of the best ever played the game, and eventually you got to hang up the cleats. I don't care. You can only play for so long, and so when you lose a player of that caliber. And Patrick Paul, like I said, I was the guy that announced him at the draft second round and played right here in Houston, U of H college football. And, you see his highlights, and you see his size, wingspan, great feet, athletic ability. He's got all the tools to become one of the best at that position. But I truly think he definitely benefited from, sitting under Teron Armstead for a year, learning. That definitely probably speeded up his growth cycle or understanding of what it takes to be a pro, how to prepare for a game. You studying a guy that's done it for 12, 13 years. You watch how he prepares, how he watch film, this and that. You glean all that from him, and then you're a young guy with fresh legs. He's been healthy, and he's been consistent. I think since week one, he's came out and he's delivered week in and week out. I think he's having a Pro Bowl type season. Might hurt him a little bit just because of the way the Dolphins are playing. But if you look at his play individually, he's playing at a real high level, and he's been real, real consistent. So, man, I'm glad we selected him. That's one of the better draft picks we've had. And to get that type of production, which that's what you got to do to be successful, especially with your early round draft picks. They gotta turn out to be productive and successful. And he's probably succeeded expectations. And I know I'm happy with the way he's playing. And we've had to shuffle some things in the offensive line due to injuries and stuff. And sound like we're gonna be getting some guys back probably after the bye week. But if we can get those guys back and they can match that level of play, I think we can finish the season strong, and I think that'll make everybody a lot happier. But yeah, I can't say enough good things about Patrick Paul.
Hey, Patrick Paul, you hear that from 7 consecutive elected Pro Bowl from his rookie year. Only 3 tackles did that in the history of the NFL, and you're part of that. 4 consecutive All Pro and member on the 90 All Decade team. Patrick Paul, it's high things that you have here. So congratulations for your season, and keep going. I mean, sky is the limit. So please don't stop.
Please don't stop. I'm your biggest fan, brother. I love what I said out there. Yeah. So yeah, big fella putting in work and having a great season, and I'm his biggest fan. So yeah, I love what I see.
Hey, I'm glad that you brought Teron Armstead there because, Teron, I'm still waiting from you. I don't know why you're scared. Here we are just having fun. I just want to make that happen. Richmond Webb and Teron Armstead in the same show. I think it will be so cool. And be a French in the middle. Great international story. So, Teron, make that happen, bro.
I think you will. I actually saw on social media where he was actually at the game in Spain. So
yeah,
I think it's great. You have a guy that caliber just retired, but still so important and so impactful to spreading the awareness of the NFL, the game, the Miami Dolphins, and pillar in the community, and has so many different business ventures, has a podcast. He's very successful with that. Yeah. So I think got some young daughters. They probably play volleyball or something. I'm not sure. I got to go through his social media a little bit more, but spending time with his family, things that's important, this and that, and then being able to balance all that is truly amazing. So I'm sure he's just as happy for Patrick Paul. Us offensive linemen, we kind of stick together, and since we've all played that tackle position, I know he's definitely happy, and hopefully we can get Austin Jackson back, and we can finish strong and maybe have 2 of the best young tackles in the game right now. So definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah, because we talk about Patrick Paul, but there is others great player in that offensive line, especially a rookie that we play maybe Another time we will talk another time, but there is a rookie who have been at a rough of the season, like the team, but he's going better each and every week. So let's talk about his world, the world, a little in another episode, because now I want to talk about Devon Achane. We talked about him in a few shows ago, but I think we have to talk more about it because Dwight don't let us talk about the offense last week. So we have to talk about a little more about the offense this week. But Devon Achane, Texas A&M, Aggies brother, Coach Jackie Sherrill. Hi, by the way. And I know it's not his coach, but I want to bring that name because I have so much respect for his story. But hey, what a relief having Devon Achane at number 28.
I mean, another guy probably. I can easily say the offensive MVP for the Miami Dolphins this season, just by if you look at the numbers he's put up, touchdowns, explosive plays, big play making ability, you name it. Devon has done that. And then I know the Aggies will love you for shouting him out. We had a nail biter this past Saturday against South Carolina. We were down 27 points at halftime, and we were number 3 ranked team in the nation, but we were able to overcome and correct that and ended the game 31-30. So I know I was happy, but I'm sure Devon was happy about that. And hopefully we're still number 3 and we just continue to take them one game at a time. But yeah, he was the same way at A&M, just, one of the backs that kind of carried the team at times. And he was a dual sport athlete at Texas A&M. He was a world-class sprinter, ran the 100, 200 meters, this and that. And so when you got a guy with that type of caliber, that type of skill set, and the way they use him, whether it's screens, running inside the tackle, outside, I mean, a lot of people would look at him and say, based on his size, oh, he's too small to play this and that, but he plays a lot bigger than what he actually is. And he just has great vision and knows how to get in there and make plays and turn a lot of time a negative play into a positive play. So, for me, I would probably say he's a team MVP this season just because he's consistently done it week in and week out. And but he doesn't – I don't think he looks to glorify himself. I think he's a true team player. He was the same way at Texas A&M, and I think that's why everybody love and respect him.
Yeah, it was awesome. When you say he made bad play into good plays, I remember that one that he has the ball behind the line of scrimmage 5 years, I think it was, and he made that almost a first down. It's having playmakers is amazing for your team always. But you know what? When I'm seeing that vibes now, I know that everything can go down if we lose, for example, against the Saints. But from now, my feeling is really about what this team could have been now if Tyreek Hill didn't get injured. Because even if Waller is there and Darren Waller, there is a chance that he's going back for the Saints or maybe the game after. Austin Jackson will be there, by the way, for the Saints game. If he's not here, don't get hurt for now. But we have some player who will be come back, and Darren Waller will be there. I think it's very good for this team. He brings so much touchdown in the end zone, so it's super good. And now I want to talk with you about that defense. We talked about that last week, but I want to bring 3 names. Not 3 names. I'm going to bring 3 names. First, Jordyn Brooks. If you don't talk about Jordyn Brooks today, 20 tackles last week. If you don't talk about that, guys, what we are doing, I will not compare it to him into Zach Thomas, but the energy he's bringing on this defense is really interesting. The defensive line is improving, and Kenneth Grant, rookie, the start of the season, everybody was very questioning that pick. I think it's going a little better. You have still improvement to do, but it's still a rookie. We have to remember that. The secondary, it was a big question mark. Jack Jones making the interception. They are there to making plays also. So, but my only concern is still the pass rush. I want to see sharp when he will be fully go back into 100% of his physicality. I want to see more pass rush pressure and also sacks, but pressure it's good. What do you see about the defense, Richmond? What been doing 2 great games, by the way, 2 great games.
2 great games. And I think the thing, like you said, the pass rush is not always there, but they've been doing a better job of keeping containment. And I think the thing that people are not paying attention to is forcing teams into more third and longs versus making it easy, convertible third down situations, third and short and this and that. But there's been a more physical style. The defensive line is winning the line of scrimmage, and I don't think we were doing that consistently early on in the season. But something has clicked, and they kind of figured it out and came together. So now you got that, and like you said, you got Brooks making 20 tackles. He's been one of the leading tackles all year long. And then the other question mark was also, like you said, was the cornerbacks, because it was basically 2 new guys. We had a couple of injuries right before the season started, but for me, I was depending on the pass rush to kind of help those guys out. But overall, defensively, they've figured out something, and it's working. And we're getting good play from our corners as well. So, like I say, it seemed like both the offense and the defense is like it finally clicked and it just started going. So, yeah, and I think it's even not evident just during the games, but when people study and watch film on the Miami Dolphins, they're like, look, this is not the same team from 4 or 5 weeks ago. When we play them, you got to be ready to play. They're going to play to the end and this and that. So something has clicked. I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, just leave it on. Don't click it back off. I think everybody's happy. Everybody sees the effort and this and that. And I think I told somebody a week or so ago, as long as you come out with that effort, and you might not win the game, I think people can deal with it better. But it's when it just seems like somebody can play better or we're a better team than what we're showing. I think that's when it gets tough. But man, I think everybody's been happy, and I think even the players have been happy. I've even been seeing, the good thing about social media, they'll show clips from after the game, the social media coach addressing the team, and even the players. Their attitude is totally different, and I'm glad to see that. So you need that for the last half of this season to stretch. Like you said, get a few more players healthy during this bye week, and then get ready for the stretch.
And I say on that, Richmond, it's true that you don't want to see the team lose the way they lose, for example, against the Browns. It's really, and you have the feeling that we could have been doing better. But that win against the Commanders has a greater test because the win we had the week before. I mean, because the Bills is really a team that that they will be there until the playoff, and they are Super Bowl contender. Having that game, that entire game that we was good in the 3 phases, it's amazing, and it was that also against the Commanders. That's why I'm saying don't look at the score. You don't score in every possession. You still have a team in front of you. You still have players. You still have Bobby Wagner defending. You still have Deebo Samuel in the offense. You still need to respect that. Okay, it was maybe not the ideal game. It was maybe not the reactive offense that we saw with McDaniel a few years ago. But I can guarantee you, if you do that in every playoff game and you go to the Super Bowl that way, everybody is more than fired up. You know what I mean? So sometimes, let's say, by planet Earth, if you want to score, you go on Madden and you play, and don't worry, you will score a lot of touchdowns. But seeing those guys improving, being one of the worst team in the league, and now in a position that it's 50-50 from now. If they win, they will be able to next week. They will be 5-7, and here we're talking. So 1 week at a time, like you always say, and I think it's more than true now. And let's see what they're doing. And my last topic, Richmond, because I need to bring that if you are a coach, do you take the field goal or you take the first down like McDaniel did? Because you have to remember, if he scored a touchdown, the game was over. So sometimes you have to take risks. I mean,
Yeah,
how many teams are taking risk in their history and that happened in the good way or in the bad way? That
yeah,
time it was a bad way, but still good because we win the game. So
it
what
worked
are
out.
your thoughts as a professional, former player? What do you think about that play?
Yeah,
It's so much
yeah.
drama.
Just I think you do what you know from experience, right? And so for me, if I look at it when I played, I probably say 100% of the times, if we won the coin toss, we're taking offensively, we're taking the ball, and I think it kind of caught everybody off guard. But like you said, it worked. We kicked off to the Commanders, and like you said, if they score, it's over. But defense came up and made the interception, and I was like, hey, we right here in field goal. Field goal. We can kick a field goal now, but we ran a couple times and got even closer to even make that percentage go up to where it's a shorter field goal. And sometimes you question stuff, but I always tell people, I said, um, it's easy to question after the fact, but you can question it, but as long as it works out in your favor, you can question it. But at the end, it's just when it doesn't work out, that's when everybody just want to browbeat you and beat you. Oh, you should have did this, you should have did that. But it's not easy trying to come up and try to call plays and select this and that offensively or defensively, because a lot of times you don't know until they get in that formation, and then you got to possibly kind of adjust or check out of it. And a lot of times you'll see if you're on offense, quarterback walks and he doesn't like the defense. It must be a defense that's more in their favor, so he'll call a timeout and walk back over. And same thing with the defense. Sometimes if they seem confused or whatever, they will call a timeout. But like you said, it was totally against what I would have done, just because based on, I know my coaches, we always wanted the ball. We wanted the ball. And I understand that because, like you said, if you go down and score, the game is over. But it worked out, and we can look back and laugh at it now. But if they would have went down, the backlash would have been outrageous and tremendous on social media. So I'm glad it actually did work out. And just I could see the joy and the happiness in the locker room after the game from the clips I saw, and we need something positive, not so much for the fans all the time, but even for the players, because you trying, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work, but then you get a couple in a row, and it makes you feel so much better. And like you said, they could have easily lost focus after Buffalo last week, but they remained focused, and they said no. Yeah, we won that game, but that's a sign of maturity. So yeah, I would have did something different, but it worked out. Long story short,
We will have a totally different show if the Commanders actually made the field goal in the overtime and he didn't have the ability to respond. Uh, because that's I'm not sure I will be able to explain that into a good English, but the line between the bad and good are more closer than everybody thinks. So sometimes you make a decision and it's not, sometimes you say, it was a easy decision, but it's not that easy that people think, because the fact that you can fail in a second and you can succeed in a second. And I will say this because now I have the privilege to work talk with you a lot. And I had the privilege to talk with Kissims, and the episode will be update on YouTube very soon. And I hope you will love that I had the ability to bring back the duo again on the screen. And Kissims told me something and told us something that it was certainly that. So how many times did Dan Marino changed a run game into a pass play, that he made another no. So we can argue the same way. If he didn't do that, maybe you guys will have been a better success or worse success than you have. You never know. So question decision is always easy, but I think that was the story of that game. we need always a little drama here in Miami. And McDaniel give us always a little drama, but at the end he ended well. And I have to remember that the tie game was actually almost the same play, and Ollie Gordon scored a touchdown to make the tie a 13 point game. So he maybe think that he can do that another time, and that time doesn't work. And anyway, we don't make that story long because we already talk a lot. But it was so cool to have a win in Madrid. It was so cool to see the Miami Dolphins playing in the Santiago Bernabéu. I repeat that it's worldwide publicity. I mean, Roger Goodell enjoyed that, and I can understand how he enjoyed that because for business it was good, but for the projection, I'm pretty sure that you have a lot of people who have never watched American football game and watch it probably didn't understand a lot because it was not a nappy game in terms of scoring. They maybe get a little disappointed, but it was a great show. So Richmond, that was our review for the Commanders game. A win. We are now 4-7. Get some rest because you have been a great co-host because now you're not a guest anymore. It's true. I have to say a co-host. And I thank you for that first part of the season. And now we are ready for the second part. And I hope we will talk a lot about the playoff, man.
We'll see. We're going to keep taking it one game at a time. But like you said, last week's been good. We're going to get some rest and we'll get back at it. So I'm definitely looking forward to a little rest.
That's it. We have a good show. It was so great to share that with you, and see you next time. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment, and put any comments that help us to improve the show. Sorry, we still get into just the funny part because we don't want to go too serious. We just want to have fun with you guys. But any comments in terms of improving, it will be very appreciated. See you and fins up.